2016. Poll hearing, item number 1, on a petition by Eversource Energy to install one new utility pole on Erie Street, Dorchester, located on its southeasterly side, approximately 50 feet southwest of Washington Street. Good morning.
Good morning. I am Sheila Gillis here on behalf of Eversource.
Rick Schiffoni, also here on behalf of Eversource Electric.
We requested granted location to install one pole on Erie Street, Dorchester. This pole was necessary in order to support the existing pole line.
I'm sorry.
It's necessary in order to support the existing pole line. The pole has been set. We've had an incident of a pole falling, and this pole was needed to take up that space between the two poles.
Yeah, so I've been in discussions with John Hoey throughout this process, and I'm in favor of this. Great. Any members of the audience have any questions or comments? I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve the petition by Eversource Energy to install one new utility pole on Erie Street, Dorchester, located on its southeasterly side, approximately 50 feet southwest of Washington Street.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Thank you very much. Public hearing continued, item number 1. Oh, we'll do this now? Okay, great. Sorry about that. 1 second. Rick?
Yeah, I'm also here with Sheila to answer any questions we have in regards to the installation of poles, and in particular the Heath Street area of Hyde Park, and some composite poles that we've installed in that area.
Great, so the packet in front of us identifies those poles there. What are they made out of, Rick?
They're like a composite material. It's like a wood and plastic composite, which is actually stronger than a regular wooden pole. We use these poles in instances where we need additional strength. Corner poles, end poles that have the tendency to get pulled over by the existing wires, and if it's not feasible to have guiding on the pole, we attempt to put these poles in as the end pole because it'll stand the tensions pulling at the pole in lieu of putting in a guide to hold the pole up.
So they're almost like bookend type of poles that handle the stress?
Exactly. They're usually set in concrete for a more stable bottom, and they do look different than the wooden poles. They're like a bluish, grayish pole that I guess has brought up a few questions about the poles themselves. The poles on Austin Street, I think they were originally set between the 1920s and 1950s, and they're starting to come towards end of life. And in 2014, in that area, we did a major upgrade of the electrical infrastructure, essentially reconducted new wires across. And at that time, we decided to upgrade the strength of the poles in the areas and take care of any of the end poles, which did involve the installation of a lot of these composite poles in the area for added strength and to hold on to the existing infrastructure. Mainly because there's just a lot more attachments today than there were in the 20s and 50s to the poles, which has added a lot of additional stress to the poles. It goes along with the installation on Erie Street, in which we did have a pole come down because of the additional stress. And I think that one was also involved in a vehicle catching the line of the pole that actually pulled it down. But these are stronger, and like I earlier said, in the city there's a lot of instances where putting a guy in really isn't feasible in the area, and that's why we're left with this additional solution.
Now, have you gotten you or anyone at Eversource gotten any feedback from these Austin Street poles to the positive or the negative? I haven't particularly. I don't know if any of the board members have, but I have not heard one way or the other from the constituency.
No, we haven't gotten any question from the residents directly on poles, or I haven't. John, I think, will be coming. They would normally go through John Hoey.
Okay.
We have residents' concerns about them in the area. One of our engineers, Pat Kelly, and I come here a few months back and did do some discussion on these composite poles and the reason we use them. Pat is out this week, so I will talk to Pat about maybe ordering brown composite poles.
Exactly.
To take a little bit of the edge off, so that it'll look like the surrounding neighborhood, and they're not so much of something that jumps out at somebody saying, what are these, steel, do they look different? You know, the blue, gray may look more of a steel, but they're not, because they're non-conductive. But we should be able to do something internally, and I'll work with Pat, our engineer that does all these, to see what we can do about the color of the poles for the manufacturer. So I believe when we first did our presentation, we had mentioned that there were different colors of these poles that we could possibly use.
Rick, to further prior episodes of this nature on with it, cut to the chase, what's the height of the new pole
They are normally anywhere between 40 and 50 feet tall.
in comparison to the existing poles? Are they about the same height bracket or are they taller?
We normally install poles the same height all the way across,
Okay.
because we can't have a,
Okay.
exactly. we
Just
can't have a
for-
roller coaster.
What's the installation methodology with these? Is it just an auger?
Yeah, the digging is the same, it's an auger. Normally, they'll set them in concrete to give them additional strength if they're being used to eliminate the need for a guide.
And we do it during the daytime, correct?
Exactly.
So again, at least my thought patterns are not structural, it is visual. So if it is the same height, our neighborhoods should, from a height perspective, it is neutral. So again, this color issue is a concern, okay? So as long as you can produce a product that is as color neutral as to the elements which we've been replacing. There are two colors which we are used to. One, the pole color that is faded, and the other is the concrete pole. So if you can match either one of those on an ongoing basis, it may minimize any type of awkward feedback to us.
Understood.
Also, within your flyer, when you've got your standard flyer for a work zone, if you could flyer that what you'll be doing is swapping out poles, I think that might mitigate the questions, even if it's just what is this and why, to know that that's why you're out there, not just laying.
Understood. Yeah, I'll talk to our overhead people about doing that when we go to do our work. The additional concern in this area was that in 2014, because of the major upgrade, there was a lot of poles, both wooden and composite, put in the area, and there still is a lot of double poles in the area. We have pulled the list on the double poles. It's through the database between all the utilities attached poles. And we're going to prompt the other utilities that have not transferred so we can speed up that double pole removal process in the area.
Just for my edification, relative to structural loading, etc. If you're the owner of the pole and you have other utilities attaching to that pole as a JO, do you require them to submit structural analysis?
No, as the owner in Hyde Park, we'll put the pole in and we notify all the attaches of the different types of drill bits and attachment methods to the composite poles because they're different than the wooden poles.
But I'm talking strictly the load. So you
The
don't run
loading
into a
material.
situation that you're running into some structural failure of these poles. So if somebody's going to attach, say Verizon is going to attach something on your pole, do you require them to submit a structural analysis?
On the initial application process, there's an evaluation done internally by us to what they're going to add to the pole and whether it's going to require a more beefed up pole. So, and then we will actually do a walk down, us and Verizon, with whoever wants to get on, whether it be Comcast, Fios, whoever wants to get on, discussing with them what they're putting on the pole and we do an engineering analysis on whether we need to upgrade the poles at that
But
time.
that's just for the initial installation, right? How about any future build out?
They're supposed to notify us of the process that they're going to do an additional build out on it. I'm not sure if that always is done when they do their subsequent build outs.
One last thing, if you could just collect the comments, if any, have been received by Mr. Hoey or Mr. Kelly and forward them to my staff, I'd appreciate it. I will take a copy of this packet and make sure that the mayor's hotline 311 service has that in case they come across any constituent questions. Thank you. I appreciate it. Public hearing continued, item number 1, on a joint petition by Northam Park Realty Trust and JMass 2 LLC for the abandonment of any and all rights to travel the public may have had within a portion of Northam Park private way open to public travel, Dorchester, from a point 60 feet northwest of Dorchester Avenue to its northwesterly terminus at the MBTA Red Line. New business, August 4th, 2016. Public hearing, August 18th, 2016. Public hearing continued September 1st, 2016. Public hearing continued October 6th, 2016, as shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department, Engineering Division, Abandonment Plan, Northam Park, a private way open to public travel, Dorchester, one sheet dated August 1st, 2016.
Good morning, Mr. Chair and members of the Commission. My name is Kevin Cloutier from the Cloutier Law Firm in West Roxbury. I represent Stephen Connolly, who's associated with the names and the ownership interest in this property. And I certainly am cognizant of the fact that I've been here a number of times, and I don't want to overstay my welcome. The issue before the Commission is to abandon what is a paper street, which runs through a lot where my client has proposed and has received approvals from the BRA and ZBA to construct a 18-unit multifamily dwelling. The issue that was originally raised by Mr. Moshe at the first hearing was relative to fire access and if this petition would cause any impediment. And we haven't resolved that issue yet, but this morning, Mr. Donga from the Boston Fire Department did indicate that he is reviewing the fire access plan that we provided. It is currently under review. He's basically taking that piecemeal. Originally, we were going to wait for the whole building construction set to come out of the BRA, bring that over to ISD for the full code review, of which Boston Fire would be a part of that. Because those plans are still at the BRA pending a final issue with regard to landscaping, Mr. Donga has taking just the fire plan along with our consultant's report, our code consultant, and indicated this morning that that is under review. I really hope to have that resolved within the next 2 weeks, and I hate to keep asking to come back, but I'd ask for the 2 weeks as opposed to the month, because if we get it resolved, my client's on a pretty quick schedule. I just, you know, again, we've been working hard to get it resolved, and I appreciate the Commission's patience and consideration. I would be asking for a 2-week continuance.
Great, yeah. Having said that, I'll entertain a motion to continue.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the request by Northern Park Realty Trust to continue the hearing for 2 more weeks.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. So moved. Thank you, Mr. Cloutier.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.
Public hearing continued, item number 2, on a joint petition by SRI 10 Center Plaza LLC and the Boston Redevelopment Authority for the making of specific repairs within the following public ways in Boston proper, consisting of curb realignment and sidewalk reconstruction, as well as new and relocated pedestrian ramps, specialty pavement, and storm drain infrastructure. New business, September 15, 2016. Public hearing, October 6, 2016. Cambridge Street, on its southwesterly side between Somerset Street and Court Street/Tremont Street. Tremont Street on its westerly side from Court Street/Cambridge Street to a point approximately 250 feet southerly, as shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department, Engineering Division, Specific Repairs Plan, Tremont and Cambridge Street, 1, 2, and 3 Center Plaza, Central Boston, 3 sheets dated August 2016. Good morning.
Good morning, John Schmidt with Niche Engineering. And on behalf of SRI 10 Center Plaza LLC, we'd like to request a 2-week continuance. My client and the BRA are still working through some easement issues in regards to their arcade.
Great. Thank you, Janet. Having said,
John, that whole issue of whether the street is called Scully Square, have you had a chance to look into that? The portion of Cambridge between...
Right, so my understanding is it's called Cambridge Street and transitions to Tremont Street at the intersection.
I think it is Scully Square.
Just check it from,
Okay.
check with our street book,
Okay.
and after you check that, then adjust the plans accordingly.
you said 2 weeks, right, John?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion to continue, public hearing continued, item number 2, for 2 weeks until November 3rd, 2016.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? So moved. Thank you. Public hearing, item number 1, on a petition by the neighborhood abutters for a square dedication concerning the intersection of Harrison Avenue and Worcester Square, Boston proper, recognizing Dr. Kenneth C. Edelin, new business, October 6, 2016.
Morning.
Morning, welcome back.
Thank you. I'm Barbara Edelin. I requested a square dedication in honor of my late husband, Dr. Edelin, at the intersection of Harrison Avenue and Worcester Square. I submitted over 1,000 signatures plus several letters of support from community leaders, including a letter from Walsh, who's the CEO of Boston Medical Center, in support. And I'm here to ask you for your support and affirmative vote of my petition.
Great. Yeah, and 2 weeks ago, that was a very powerful speech you gave. We appreciate that. Is there anyone else in the audience that would like to make a comment today before we take a vote?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. My name is Fletcher Wiley. They call me Flash.
Morning.
I was a personal friend of Dr. Edelin. And what I like about this almost 400-year-old city of Boston is that there are a great many great Americans who have walked the streets and done great things here. Dapper O'Neill, for example, in whose room we sit now. And Dr. Edelin was one of, for his era, one of the great doctors and one of the great educators here in Boston. In Boston, he made his home. He's from Washington, D.C., but this is the place where he made his mark and added a lot to the luster of the city and the lore of the city. And it would be wonderful for this African-American to have a vital part of the city that he worked in named after his legacy.
Thank you very much, Mr. Wiley. I appreciate your testimony today. And just for a matter of housekeeping, this is something that we're gonna dedicate the square in the spring. Is that my understanding?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
And we'll work on signage with them throughout the winter so that we're ready for spring dedication.
Great.
Jessica, do you want to say anything?
I'm Jessica Todd,
Yes.
Chief of Staff for Boston City Councilor Anna Presley. I was here 2 weeks ago as well. I'm just here again to reiterate Councilor Presley's support of this project and to acknowledge all of the vast array of support we've had from residents and organizations in the city about the life and legacy of Dr. Edelin. Thank you for considering.
Very good. Thank you for your testimony as well. Any other members of the audience have any questions or comments? Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the petition by the neighborhood of Butters for a square dedication concerning the intersection of Harrison Avenue and Worcester Square, Boston proper, recognizing Dr. Kenneth Edelin.
Second.
All in favor? So moved. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Congrats.
Public hearing item number 2 on a petition by Crown Castle NG East LLC for a grant of location with lead company status to install new telecommunication conduit within the following public ways in East Boston. New business, October 6, 2016, Meridian Street at White Street, West Eagle Street, from Meridian Street to a point approximately 250 feet easterly, as shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department, Engineering Division, Grant of Location Plan, Crown Castle Network, Expansion, 2 locations, East Boston, District 9, 1 sheet dated October 2016. Morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Kosta Jovanovic, Government Relations Manager for Crown Castle. And with me this morning is Richard Shepard, Project Manager on the project. This item number 2 and also items number 3 and 4 are a result of our application to expand our existing distributed antenna system network in East Boston by adding 1 additional location. This area has been identified as being congested, and this will facilitate greater capacity in the area for residents and business owners. The petition, the first part of the petition involves 2 small trenches, and Rich will speak to the details.
Morning, Rich.
Good morning, Rich Shepard, Project Manager, Crown Castle. We are tying to our existing network in this location, and there aren't any aerial availability for this section, as well as we investigated the city shadow, which doesn't exist. And so the first dig is tying to an adjacent Verizon manhole. And then item number 3, we'll be petitioning for amended grant location to utilize their system. We are using microtrench for the first section. And then at the end of the Verizon system, we connect directly to the pole at the corner of White Street and Meridian Street, White Street.
Point of clarification for me. Intersection of West Eagle Street and Meridian Street, I believe there's a stoplight. And if I head north on Meridian Street, we go for the Cardinal Meridian Street Bridge. Am I in the right location?
Yeah, those are.
Okay. So when you do construction through this intersection, you may have to do this work fairly quickly because both the Chelsea Street and Meridian Street, those bridges act for traffic detours in such a way that this intersection, if you're playing over there, it's going to bottleneck the whole.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And the use of microtrench in this location it really speeds up the process. Once we have the trench provided, which you can drive over because it's only a 1-inch wide trench. Once we install the conduit and put the reinstatement material, there's about a 10-minute wait period before traffic can go over.
So you will be sensitive to the need to get in and get out.
Absolutely.
Extremely quickly.
We also will be submitting traffic management plans when we apply for the permit.
Thank you so much.
So this item, as well as 3 and 4, is something that you do in this construction season?
Yes.
Okay. And one last point, could you refresh my memory where I can find a micro trench in the city to take a look at it?
Right now, the first one we did was on Commonwealth Avenue at what's the intersection? Granby.
Granby.
Yeah.
Granby, yeah, okay. Thank you. Any members of the audience have any questions or comments at this time?
I just have one quick question. Even though these are micro trenches, are these still marked out on the dig safe process?
Yes, absolutely. In fact, we'll be marking them with the approved tags as well.
Great. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve a petition by Crown Castle NG East LLC for a grant of location lead company status from Meridian Street and West Eagle Street and East Boston is described and read into the record by the chair, shown on the plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department, Engineering Division, a grant of location plan, Crown Castle Network expansion, 2 locations in East Boston, and the one sheet is dated October 2016.
Second.
All in favor? So moved. Public hearing item number 3, on a joint petition by Crown Castle NG East LLC and Verizon New England Incorporated to amend a granted location to install new telecommunication fiber and existing conduit within Meridian Street, East Boston, between White Street and West Eagle Street. New business, October 6, 2016, as shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department, Engineering Division, amended grant of location plan, Crown Castle, Verizon leased conduit, East Boston, District 9, one sheet dated October 2016. Good morning again.
Good morning once again. Kostya Ivanovich for Crown Castle. In connection with items 2 and 4, our conduit path is going to, in order to eliminate new trenching, we're going to utilize Verizon conduit spanning from one manhole to the other. Rich?
So we've been granted the license for occupancy, and we're just petitioning the amended grant of location for this path.
Great.
I don't have it in front of me, but I was shown some information indicating that there's a lack of city shadows in this particular area.
Yes. Our process involves, the first thing we do is investigate the availability of city shadow when we have a proposed project. And this particular section of Verizon conduit, I believe, was constructed before the city shadow ordinance was enacted. So I'm not sure that this one has a dedicated city shadow duct within it. It does have a municipal duct, which has been standard process from Verizon over the years, which usually fire alarm uses it.
What about the possibility of dedicating some of the spares?
I can't speak for Verizon's asset.
Verizon's here, they can speak.
conduit, yeah.
I have not been directly involved in this project. I was in the early stages with a Paul Schneider, who's another building manager who's been handling this. But I would say where we had already had the conduit installed, it's not a new installation, that we would have already made accounts for a municipal duct if it was a requirement at the time that we placed the original conduit from bank structures.
Okay,
Punchline, no?
sounds like a no.
Right, so I would say whether we even, the reason why Crown Castle is coming to us is to get a deck that we may not have. I don't know that we just have another one available.
Could we take a look and just let PIC body know?
Yeah,
I would-
I can ask, but we've already, this has already been granted, and it's been in place for probably many decades. We would probably not be able to give up on that.
Okay. Chong, did you want to say something? Chong Lu?
The law department and legal counsel for this board. Based on their conversation, the presentation, I understand that the conduit, existing conduit, is Verizon's telephone conduit. They installed a long time ago, potentially before the joint build policy was enacted. That's in 1994. But I would like to know exactly when the telephone conduit were installed. And I think what they're asking for from Castle is asking for is to amend the existing ground location or ground location Verizon, so to allow Crown Castle to put their fiber in one of their ducts to pull through. There is no city shadow involved, but I would like to know when this telephone conduit are installed. Based on my reflection of our new policy, there's no requirement for cities to shadow. But if the shadow, if it's a conduit, Verizon conduit is installed after 1995, it's newer, I'd like to know about that. They, city shadow requirement if they install the conduit for fiber purposes. When those conduit are installed, it's more for telephone purposes. But once again, I don't really have much information about that. I might request a little more information on that.
Yeah, can you just let us know when this conduit was installed?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Chong. Any members of the audience have any questions or comments? I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the joint petition by Crown Castle, NG East LLC, and Verizon New England to amend the grant location to install new telecommunication fiber in existing conduit within Meridian Street in East Boston between White Street and West Eagle Street. As shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division, amended grant of location plan, Crown Castle Verizon lease conduit in East Boston, dated October 2016.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Public hearing item number 4 on a petition by Crown Castle NG East LLC for a grant of location to install new telecommunication infrastructure on a replacement city streetlight pole within Meridian Street, East Boston, located at the northwesterly corner of its intersection with White Street. New business, October 6, 2016. As shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division, Grant of Location Plan, Crown Castle Network Expansion, Meridian Street, East Boston, District 9, one sheet dated October 2016. Morning again.
Good morning again, Mr. Chairman. Yes, this final item is for the replacement of the city streetlight, a concrete structure with a metal look-alike pole and telecommunications equipment and a pole-top antenna.
I apologize for not having photographic memory to know what this intersection looks like. We have a couple of concerns I have. First of all, you are planning on putting a new street light pole right next to the traffic signal pole. Okay, so there may be concerns about how the wiring is going to come and when you are trying to install this new pole. Is this a replacement pole? Do we have the city's public works own street light pole right next to the traffic signal pole. The photograph seems to be a little bit ambiguous. So that's a concern we have. Second, when it is this close to a third floor, 1, 2, 3, third floor building, we also have a concern as to whether the abutters know of this antenna being stuck up there. This is not new. This is what the Commission has been asking for throughout the commissions. The third issue is, it is at the apex location of a pedestrian crosswalk. Again, it is predicated on, do we have an existing street light? So it is not clear. So how would you respond to all those three questions?
Those are excellent questions. The way that the photo simulation is drawn, it's shown, actually at the existing location. And in reality, when we set the new one, we set it, next to. In this particular case, we would go away from the crosswalk so that we wouldn't have any, ADA implications with the setting of the new. For the wiring, we place a new, from the handle, we place a new piece of conduit to the new base, so it's not like we don't tap into the existing wiring, so there's no complexity there. And then the way this is positioned, it is actually, not in direct line with the building that's next to it.
So there's an offset.
It's offset because of the intersection. The building's set back from both on both corners.
Sidewalks.
So it is diagonally adjacent to the building, but we feel that the impact, the visual impact of this has been minimized.
All right, yeah, I concur with Para that the picture that you present in your plan places it very awkwardly on the street in front of the traffic signal.
As I indicated, that is where the existing light is right now. And what we'll do is we'll move a little to adjacent to it so that we can set the new foundation, the new base.
Yes, because we are a very old city and sometimes this infrastructure comes in pieces. It is possible that the stoplight was there before the street light or the other way around. So when you are replacing these poles, if you can exercise some level of not caution, some sensibility to reposition our asset to meet your needs without making things too complicated.
Absolutely, and for first and foremost is safety and ADA compliance, as well as non-interference with sidewalk or pedestrian crossings. So where this will be positioned will comply with all those issues.
Thank you. Any members of the audience have any questions or comments? I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve the petition by Crown Castle NG East LLC for the grant of location to install new telecommunication infrastructure on a replacement city street pole, as read into the record by the chair, and all is shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division, grant of location plan, Crown Castle Network Expansion, Meridian Street, East Boston, District 9, one sheet dated October 2016.
Second.
All in favor? So moved. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Public hearing item number 5 on a joint petition by 186 Communications LLC and Verizon New England Incorporated for a grant of location with lead company status and one participant to install new telecommunication conduit within Summer Street, Boston proper, from Dorchester Avenue to a point approximately 300 feet northwesterly. New business, October 6, 2016, as shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department, Engineering Division, Grant of Location Plan, Summer Street at Dorchester Avenue, downtown Boston, one sheet dated October 2016. Morning.
Morning, how are you? On new business, 2 weeks ago, we introduced a petition. At that time, we mentioned that Verizon was going to join in on the project to expand between 2 Verizon manholes as part of that. So working with Todd, we resubmitted the drawings, revised drawings, and that was approved, I believe. Those are up there right now. So basically, the change is adding an additional 4-inch conduit between the 2 Verizon manholes, and at that time, we placed our own conduit, Verizon conduit, and the city's shadow as well.
How much digging is involved? What's the trench going to look like?
Traditional 2-foot by 2-foot trench.
Okay.
So, fairly certain I mentioned this, or if I didn't, at the new business, Summer Street, this area connects our downtown, obviously in front of the Federal Reserve Building, to the convention center. So you are cutting up a street that is going to be highly visible in terms of the damage caused and how we restore. Can you speak towards how you plan on restoring this cut in one of the most visible areas of our city? And please don't tell us that you will, obviously you will conform with public works standards. That's not what I'm speaking to. Pretend that it is your real estate and how it's going to impact you.
That's for the Boston specs. We've also, in previous circumstances in high visibility areas, gone back and milled and overlaid that. Depending on the timing, either that's in the fall or the spring, just to go through a frost season.
Thank you. So please do recognize the high visibility factor to supplement whatever our procedures are to understand that a cut over here will be so visible to the people who we serve.
Again, at new business, I asked the question, what your origin is, where your destination is going, what connects your system. Can you expound upon that?
Right, so we utilize some Verizon East conduit in the area, as well as some other providers in the area. We already feed customer at 245 Summer Street, and this line will enable us to have diversity into that building, as well as the Federal Reserve Building as well.
So where are you coming from?
We have a presence at 1 Summer Street, it's a main hub location, but we have service throughout the seaboard area in Boston.
But obviously, this is basically to service a customer from an origin point to a destination, correct?
Correct.
So it's 245 and the Federal Reserve, is that what we're doing?
Yeah, Fidel's at 245 Summer Street.
So aren't they required to submit a, like Crown Castle was just doing, the cable plan for the installation?
Yes, we should have the duct work that shows what this installation will entail, which ducts will belong to whom.
And that's something we would work with John with.
Yeah, we'll require that for Mylars, knowing.
How do we take a vote on this then, if that's not part of the vote?
Is it on?
Yes, this limited information.
But I'm talking about the.
Under the full.
Yeah.
Are we looking for updated plans, Eddie, or?
Yeah, I mean, basically, as we do, if there's an origin point and a destination, and that cable and where it's running from, into, through, obviously, I think you've indicated it goes through Verizon and some other ducts, other vendors. I think we want to know where that is, right?
Can you provide that information as a condition?
The long term, this petition is about the run to location for this run, and is installing the fiber with participants, and I think the information for that is pretty clear. And the Commissioner Jasper also looked into your question in the new business about the twisted fiber or wire. I look at the policy. There's our 2022 policy, which is their petition is based upon, does not address that. It simply addresses run location and also the city to shadow issue. So for this particular one, I think it's okay. For the, I appreciate your question about the alternate point and the destination. I think, from my standpoint, and also that for the purpose of that review policy, that issue is being addressed.
Okay, so any members of the audience have any questions or comments? Anything good? Yeah. Okay, so to the councilor's note, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the joint petition by 186 Communications LLC and Verizon New England for grant a location with lead company status and one participant in Summer Street in Boston proper. Is described and read into the record by the chair, shown on the plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department, Engineering Division, a grant a location plan for Summer Street at Dorchester Avenue. One sheet is dated October 2016.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Thank you very much. First item of new business, Congress Street, South Boston, specific repairs on a petition by Boston Seaport M1 and 2 Land LLC.
Good morning.
Morning.
Mike Schumacher with Cosmo Management, representing the ownership. Have with me today John Schmidt.
John Schmidt with Ditch Engineering. Good morning. As you may recall, we were here 2 weeks ago, business for improvements to East Service Road and Seaport Boulevard. And that public hearing will be 2 weeks ago. As part of the discussion during that hearing, during the new business hearing, it was brought to our attention that the city of Boston does have some rights in custody of Congress Street. We originally thought that was strictly MassDOT, but we now understand that there's dual ownership or custody of Congress Street. So in order to cross our T's and dot our I's, we prepared a specific repair plan of Congress Street in the area of this project to ensure that the city of Boston is indeed on board with the fruits of what we are proposing improvements to Congress Street.
Will the public hearings be scheduled so that it is one unified hearing, that is a unified?
That is our intent, yes. This section of Congress Street, it continues to represent the Seaport Square Master Plan designs with the impervious pavers, concrete sidewalk, street trees, street lighting. So essentially, the master plan that was approved by this commission several years ago, we're continuing those details in this section of Congress Street. We did receive a request from the Disabilities Commission to make the concrete walkway 8 feet wide instead of 6 feet wide. So we'll be revising the plan to show that in the public hearing. This request just came out in the last few days. And they also asked us to confirm that the tactile strips will be yellow, so the plan will also clarify that question as well at the public hearing. Mr. Shea also asked a question about the infiltration, the irrigation system, and we'll be working with the Boston Water Sewer at the site plan approval to ensure that the backflow preventer is part of the documents. So we've addressed the concerns that we received today.
John, the two additional feet for the sidewalk width, how did you accommodate that?
The sidewalk is extremely wide. It varies in width between 9 feet and 16 feet in some areas. I'm actually explaining that. This area has a very wide public way. Where the sidewalk in here could be, at here typically it's about between the property line and the curb line is 16.5 feet or greater. So we have a 6-foot planting bed and then we can have an 8-foot sidewalk. We still have some pavers behind that. So we can accommodate a 3-foot wide concrete sidewalk within the public way, without the need to ask for any existing easements.
John, I really didn't get a good look at this plan, but I have a couple of questions. One is, I can't tell how wide the pavers are, the permeable pavers.
Okay.
They seem to be scattered, and it doesn't look like the other sidewalks.
Yeah, it's, we need to do a better job representing that, because it does come in, we have a paver strip here that's necessarily straight, but then on the bump outs will be concrete with a lot of bike racks and other improvements at the intersection of Congress Street and Service Road. And in fact, at this point of B Street, where we transition to the Massport property, we have the same idea, where we have the pavers that sort of set back, we have the concrete sidewalk along the curb line that allows for bike racks.
So the pavers are in between the tree pits too? Fully?
Yes, the pavers are essentially between the tree pits. So you have a linear paver.
The other question is the irrigation system.
Yeah, the irrigation system will be fed from the building.
Yeah, I don't recall that on Seaport Boulevard that the irrigation system was built like that. I recall that the catch basins took flow and then flowed under the trees. And
we did that at the parcel B and C owner, and that was at the request because we could not meet the goals of the city in regards to capturing the monetary rainfall for parcel B and C. So through that process with Mr. Sullivan, we agreed to capture some of the street tree runoff and run it through the system here. That is only on parcel B and C. The other parcels are more of the conventional system, where we have an irrigation system
when these things are submitted, I'm not aware of that.
Yeah.
I mean,
There's a much bigger backstory than what.
right, and I don't, and it's hard for me to, review this stuff when it's all I'm given is a plan with no explanation. And, it'd be better if some of that stuff was brought to light so I could review the plan ahead of time.
Just on the Congress Street side, obviously, we need to show, have a pavement marking, but a meter plan as it relates to the landscaping. There's always a disconnect there. Mr. Busa, if you would verify that with the layout of the meters, with the planting of the trees, et cetera. And also, if you could take a look at where the placement of the trees adjacent to the major crosswalks could potentially be obstructing visibility for the pedestrians. Obviously, we have a heightened sensitivity with our Vision Zero initiative, so if you could take a look at that.
The type of street light, John, what type of a street light pole
They're
are
the
they?
same lights as we did on the other side, on the other parcels, which I believe are 4-point, fixtures. But we're maintaining the same light
Same
throughout the district.
throughout the.
Looks like everything will meet 2 weeks from today, and we'll get the whole parcel sorted for specific repairs. We'll see you on November 3rd for a public hearing. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Second item of new business, Cedar Street, Roxbury, private utility license on a petition by Amoresco Incorporated.
Good morning, Mr. Commissioner. I'm Mike Warshaw on behalf of Amoresco. We are under contract with the State Division of Capital Asset Management to design and install a new ground-coupled geothermal heating and cooling system at the Roxbury Community College. As part of that project, we are installing new wells in their existing parking lot, and we're looking to cross Cedar Street from the parking lot to their building with the pipes and some electrical conduit to feed that system that's going in the new wells, in the new parking lot.
This is the ongoing construction I'm seeing now as I come up Columbus?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
So we're drilling wells right now and putting in foundations for a solar canopy system.
They own it, they will dig save it,
This will be, yeah, it'll be a private utility.
private utility, and they still need to register any,
Seems wise, yes.
do they know that?
You're registered with DigSafe?
When you put that utility and 2 years
Oh,
later.
yeah,
if I
that'll
go-
be, we'll dig safe,
No, not to get it in, so that everybody else is gonna know where you are, in addition to you finding out where everybody is.
Are you a participant in DigSafe?
Our site contractor will be.
No, I'm not asking this question. So, 3 months you will install this nice pipe. 3 years later, when I'm going to rebuild the street, my backhoe might pull it out if that pipe is not registered with DigSafe. So who is going to register that pipe? Is it DCAM? I don't know. Is it the community college? I don't know. Who is going to own that pipe and register it with DigSafe?
It will be either owned by either DCAM or college. Yeah.
Okay, there's a high probability that it is DCAM because from the little I know, but please be prepared to answer that question in an affirmative way at the public hearing.
I'll have to provide that into the written.
Thank you, John. So having said that, do you think 2 weeks will be enough time? Come back for a public hearing? Okay, yeah.
Robert Husky with Amen Across the Rail, we're the civil and environmental consultant for Amoresco. One other thing that's a little bit different from the plan we submitted is that college would like to install one more spare conduit. So instead of having 3 2-inch, there'll be 3 2-inch and 1 1-inch. So, if we can present that plan for the next hearing.
You will look at the plans. For what purpose is that additional conduit? For telecommunication purposes? Or
It's the security that they.
All-purpose conduit?
In the future, they're looking for potentially to be installing security cameras in their parking lot and public safety, like a push-button emergency call system.
So I would get in touch with Commissioner Moshe before the next hearing because we have some rules about whether that has to be filled or it should be blank, and you can't just, how you should be configuring that conduit.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea anyway. I mean, we always used to say, while you dig and put in extra conduit, so I think we should be encouraging this.
Especially if they're connecting themselves to themselves. You should have spare capacity to expand.
Great to see you on November 3rd for a public hearing. Thank you for coming in. It's a couple issues of housekeeping, Chong. 2 matters I'd like you to look into if you could. Our street naming policy is a petition of qualified abutters, which are addressed abutters. The policy does not say what the process is when there are no address properties on the street. Can you let the commission know what the process would be in this case so that we can clarify the policy?
Absolutely. Chong Liu from the law department. I'm the legal counsel for this board. I will look into the policy and come back to the full commission for a proposal.
Great. One smaller item.
Sure.
I understand we've gotten some questions regarding our standard LMI language.
Yes, yes.
Can you look into what concerns there might be and refresh the document for the new year if appropriate?
Yes, and we have some meeting with folks from the Public Works, PIC, Parks, and they raised some really important questions. License agreement, there are some issues about the enforcement, whether the agreement touch concern to run with the land. In law, it is, as attorney, we understand that once come to the enforcement to level, there's some confusion. They raise some really good points. I'm in the process to revise agreement to incorporate all their concern into the agreement, and also we're going to work with them to create a enforcement mechanism to generate a citation for people who do not abide by the requirement of the agreement. So hopefully we can make this system more productive.
And is New Year's an aggressive timeline or something that you think you could meet?
I can handle it.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you. Sure.
I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor? So moved.
Yep. I keep asking you.